Chairman McCall, Chairman Wilson, Ranking Member Connolly, distinguished members of the subcommittee, thank you for the opportunity to testify today. My name is Simone Ledeen, and I previously served as Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Middle East. The Middle East is at a pivotal moment. The region is currently embroiled in a high-stakes, multi-dimensional conflict fueled by Iran's calculated aggression against the United States, Israel, and others. The evidence is clear. The Iranian regime is sowing this discord, which threatens international peace and stability. From the shadows, the regime is advancing its agenda by planning and funding attacks by its proxies. My focus today will be on one of these Iranian-backed proxies, the Houthis in Yemen, and how the U.S. should respond to accelerating Iranian aggression. The Biden administration's timid approach towards Iran has placed U.S. service members and crucial global trade routes at grave risk. The administration's policy of appeasement toward the Iranian regime has proven to be a dangerous fantasy, setting the post-Abraham Accords Middle East on fire. Urgent action is required to change course and reestablish deterrence. The Iranian-backed Houthis have escalated their attacks on commercial shipping and U.S. naval warships in the Red Sea since November 2023. The Houthis have used drones, missiles, and small boats to target both commercial and naval vessels across the southern Red Sea, the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, the Gulf of Aden, and the Arabian Sea. Companies have had to reroute ships around Africa, increasing shipping costs and travel times. Normally, an estimated 12% of international trade, amounting to over $1 trillion in goods, navigates through the Red Sea and the Suez Canal annually. Since the Houthi attacks began, freight rates from East Asia to Europe have surged over 200%. Since October 2023, the Houthis have used an alarming array of increasingly sophisticated weapons, including cruise missiles and land attack cruise missiles, unmanned aerial vehicles, unmanned surface vessels, essentially remote-controlled bomb boats, and anti-ship ballistic missiles, or ASBMs, making the Houthis the first in the world to deploy ballistic missiles against ships, signaling a sophisticated leap in their military capabilities, which now align with those of only a very few nations. At the same time, Iran and its allies have been exploiting maritime navigation systems to conduct operations with relative impunity in the Red Sea, often disguising their activities under the flags of China, Iran, or Russia. The Dark Fleet, as these ships have been called, enjoys a peculiar immunity from Houthi attacks, navigating with relative impunity, a fact which points to a level of coordination which should concern us all. The Houthis pose a multifaceted threat to Yemen, the broader Middle East, and U.S. service members. The Houthi movement, begun as a Shiite insurgency against Yemen's Sunni government, has, with Iranian support, become a key military player in the Middle East, devastating Yemen, creating a vast humanitarian crisis, and complicating U.S. and allied strategic interests in a broader Middle East proxy conflict. Additionally, the Iranian-backed Houthi chaos in Yemen has given al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula a favorable environment for training and attack planning. This is the same terrorist organization responsible for the USS Cole bombing and the Charlie Hebdo attack. The Houthi movement, central to Iran's strategy to increase its influence and disrupt the Middle East status quo, has escalated Gulf region tensions through missile and drone attacks on Saudi Arabia, endangering global oil supplies. Additionally, by targeting Red Sea routes, they significantly threaten Israel's supply chain, underscoring their role in Iran's broader ambitions to reshape regional geopolitical dynamics. The Houthis also threaten U.S. service members stationed in the region. The group's access to drones, missiles, and naval mines enables them to target U.S. forces, which they are currently doing, in attacks on U.S. Navy and merchant marine vessels. In the face of this threat, the United States must reevaluate its regional strategy. The contrast between the optimism fostered by the Abraham Accords in 2020 and the current reality could not be more stark. The disillusionment with the Biden administration's regional policy is palpable among our partners and allies. The Biden administration's early diplomatic efforts in the region, including pressuring Saudi Arabia to cease hostilities against the Houthis, delisting the Houthis as a foreign terrorist organization in February 2021, and attempting to revive the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action with Iran, has instead only emboldened them. According to the Foundation for Defense of Democracy, since the start of the Biden administration, Iran has successfully exported oil worth more than $100 billion. This dramatic increase in oil revenue explains how Iran is funding its terrorist proxies externally and domestic oppression internally. To effectively counter Iran and its proxies, the United States must take several steps. First, we must rigorously enforce sanctions targeting Iran's vital economic sectors, such as oil exports and banking, which could significantly cut its available funds for proxy terrorism. Second, the U.S. must establish deterrence and protect freedom of navigation by decisively targeting the Houthis and their IRGC sponsors, moving beyond the current ineffective defense-only strategy. By disrupting their operational networks and reducing Houthis' territorial control in Yemen, along with deploying additional U.S. military assets for rapid regional response, the U.S. will be in a much stronger position to restore global commerce routes through the Red Sea and Bab el-Mandeb. Third, the U.S. must enhance cooperation with regional allies to secure necessary access basing and overflight rights. This entails deepening strategic partnerships and expanding intelligence sharing mechanisms to effectively counteract Iranian influence. Fourth, the U.S. should reinvigorate the Saudi-led coalition's efforts to neutralize the Houthi threat in Yemen by providing comprehensive military support, including advanced weaponry, intelligence assistance, logistical support, and training to Saudi forces. This should also include working with the northern tribes. Fifth, the U.S. must provide unwavering support to Israel, both to safeguard its security, but also to demonstrate our reliability as a partner and ally. Finally, the U.S. needs to support the protest movement within Iran. We could be issuing official statements recognizing the legitimacy of the protesters' grievances and offer tangible support, such as facilitating secure communications channels
Madam
for
Secretary,
activists.